the way that my YouTube journey starts is actually with the single best piece of advice I've ever gotten in my life. And I remember just sitting there being like, let's leave and let's start a channel called Colin and Samir. That was the only plan.
Genius.
And when we left, like the assumption at our company was that we had raised money to start an agency, that we were like, everyone was like, so what are you doing? Tell me about it. And we're like, wait, we're starting a channel called Colin and Samir.
Today's guest is Samir Chaudry, one half of powerhouse duo Colin and Samir, the media company that's built a massive audience across YouTube, podcasts, and newsletters, all to educate and empower creators like you to navigate the business side of what they do.
It's okay to go a little slower and go like, this is incredible. I am making stuff. I am bringing ideas to life, and I get paid to do that. As a creator, over time, who your boss is changes. In the beginning, you are your boss.
Yeah.
Over time, an audience starts watching, and you become really considerate over what they want to watch. And then you start getting paid. And brands start paying you, and you start being really considerate to what they want because they're writing you a $50,000 check.
100%. Makes sense.
And you're like, okay, what you want is good because you pay. The ideal situation as a creator is you level back out to the audience is my boss, and I have to want to do the thing, but they are my boss, not revenue.
That's a good relationship.
The cleanest version of that relationship is a membership or a digital product.
This is Creator Commerce, where the most successful creators break down how they turn content into commerce. If you're a creator and ready to become your own CEO and own your own audience, your revenue, and your future, keep listening. Hey, Samir, welcome to Creator Commerce. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. We're going to kick this off with a question that I always wonder about people in your seat or people who are building online is, how do you describe what you do to people not in your industry?
Like to my Indian parents?
To your Indian parents, to mine, to like whatever they are.
They have no idea what I do.
How would you try and like get them to think about what you do?
I often say I run a media company.
Okay, great.
And that's pretty confusing too. So then I try and take it a step further. But I think at the core of what we're doing, it is a media company, right? Like we produce content, produce a content format, and then we build an audience, and then we solve ways to monetize that. One of which is through advertising. It's the most classic form of a media business. It's been around forever, right? Like when we had the radio, people make content, it attracts an audience, you sell ads that are relevant to that audience. That is the most classic form of media business. And then I think the next step, which is classic in Hollywood, is like you build IP and there's an audience for that IP. And then there's ways to either sell merchandise or experiences or, right? Like the base premise of what Disney did is build IP and then go, well, okay, Mickey Mouse is relevant. I guess people will come and be in a Mickey Mouse world, or maybe they'll wear a Mickey Mouse shirt. So then you solve what products can be connected and relevant to that audience based off the IP. And that can be digital or physical. So we run a media company.
That's fascinating. You didn't say creator, you didn't say entrepreneur, you thought about like a media business. And was that kind of the goal all along, or is that something that's evolved?
For me, I grew up in LA. I've always been enamored by Hollywood and by storytelling. I also think as a kid of immigrants, as like the first one in America, the reason I got so enamored by storytelling in Hollywood is because that's how I learned about American culture and how I assimilated, right? How I found my identity was through watching movies, listening to music. And I think that's common no matter what. And I just loved it. And I wanted to be one of those people telling stories. I wanted to be one of those people who offered an opportunity to understand yourself through storytelling, understand identity, get inspiration, get excited about the world and life through the stories that I'm telling. Because I've been on the receiving end of that my whole life. So I've always been enamored by that. I don't think when I was younger, I knew what shape that would take in terms of business. But I was kind of stubbornly optimistic that I would figure that out.
That's fascinating. Like, because can you tell maybe the origin story a little bit about between Colin and Samir, like how you guys started? I think it'd be fascinating to understand that.
So the way that my YouTube journey starts is actually with the single best piece of advice I've ever gotten in my life, which was I went to school for film and digital media. So again, I've been obsessed with movie making and storytelling since I was a kid. So I majored in film and digital media at UC Santa Cruz, and I was good enough there, specifically at editing, that the head of the department made a call for me, which was really nice, and got me a job in Hollywood as an editor. And so my first job was as an editor on a film called Ides of March.
Of course.
With George Clooney.
Oh my gosh,
Ryan Gosling.
That's great. I did not know that.
I was an assistant editor on that film. And I worked in Hollywood at Red Studios. And you know, for me, again, I wanted to do it all. Yeah. I particularly wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
As most like young.
As you do growing up in Hollywood.
Yeah. Growing up in Hollywood, you're like, the thing I want to be is on camera.
Yeah.
So I would dress up like as nice as I could. And I would walk from the entrance of the studio to the editing room, which was like 20 feet.
Yeah. Slowly.
Very slowly.
You love it. Love it.
Very slowly with my head on a swivel.
Yes.
Because I was like, it's going to happen, right? Yeah. Someone's going to go, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Get him into hair and makeup.
Yeah,
he's not an editor. He's in the movie.
Yeah.
Never happened. But I would walk really slowly. I would get into the editing room, and my job was to sync dailies. So at that time in 2010, you know, clapper comes down.
Yep.
You find that moment, sound and video, you sync it, you pass to the next guy. Every day, dailies came in for the movie. And the head editor, this guy, Stephen Mirioni, let me sit in and watch him edit the movie.
Awesome.
And a couple things that I realized. One was, okay, the editor, if you know how to edit, that's kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're making the movie.
We talk about that a lot. It's like the power of the pen a little bit. Like you control things at that point. So being in that position is powerful.
So I think that was the first realization was like, wait, I know how to edit.
Yeah.
So I can just make the movie, right? I can make the thing. But over time, he could recognize that I was like, he could tell that I was like antsy. I think that the thing that he could tell was that I dressed really nicely and all the other editors wore sweats and like shorts and hoodies. And we're just kind of like, why are you dressed so well? Like we're just here sitting in a dark room all
But you're
day.
thinking about something different. That's probably why.
And so he took me out to lunch and he asked me, he was like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you see your life being? And I was like, man, you know, I feel very capable. I feel like I could have an idea. I can film it. I can edit it and I can put it out because that's what I did in college. Mm-hmm. And I want to do it all. I want to make the things. And he was like, okay, well, right now you're an assistant editor and you're pretty good. And I would hire you again as an assistant editor. And I would recommend you to my friends as an assistant editor.
Great.
And maybe one day in 15 years, you could be me. Do you want that?
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Hard pass.
So he said, so then my advice to you is that you should leave and go do the thing that's in your head. Go do the thing you want to do.
Yeah.
If that means you have to get a job, wait tables, do whatever.
Yeah.
Do that, but creatively do the thing you want to do because success in our industry is just the opportunity to do more of what you're currently doing.
It's fascinating.
That was the best piece of advice I ever got.
Yeah.
And I left and I went to the only place that I could actually do whatever I wanted, which was YouTube.
Were you in college at this point? You'd graduated?
I just graduated
college. So you are not in school. This is you kind of doing this all solo with just your ambition.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So that was like, you know, I went to school up in Northern California and I had met someone who worked at YouTube and he was starting to tell me about what YouTube was all about.
Yeah.
And that was very quickly like recognizing the difference between what was happening in Hollywood, which was very exciting, but then this recognition of like, I don't know if we talk about it enough, how crazy it is that you can just make a video and upload it to the internet. Like that's actually insane.
This is 2011?
2011.
So this is also before YouTube is what YouTube is today, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
but I was uploading my films as a senior in my film class. We uploaded them to YouTube. That's how we showed them to everyone. So like I was familiar with that concept, but what I wasn't familiar with was that people were building careers. Yeah. And there was a creator named Jenna Marbles, if you remember her. I don't know if you remember her. She made videos right into her MacBook. She made like comedy videos, basically. She would make people laugh. And I remember distinctly my senior year of college in the library. I was walking through the library and I was looking at everyone's computer screen. Everyone was watching this Jenna Marbles video.
Awesome.
And so there was a couple of things that added up to, okay, that same thing I had as a kid of movies are a great way to spread ideology, to connect with people, to make someone laugh, to make someone cry.
To get on camera.
This girl, Jenna Marbles, was doing it herself into her MacBook. So all this, that mix, but particularly that advice, that success in creativity is just getting the opportunity more of what you are currently doing, then it's like, just do the thing.
Yeah.
Because if that gets successful, then you get to do that more.
Yeah.
And so, that's when I uploaded my first
So
YouTube video.
it's great. It's kind of entrepreneurial in the sense that people, when you talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, they're kind of looking for advice. Part of the action is just doing it, going and doing it.
Sure.
Now, it sounds like that mentality you had kind of growing up for a bunch of reasons. Your parents, the environment you're in, all that kind of stuff. Do you think that's the case, or would that light bulb advice cause that? Or was that something innate that you knew was going to happen, but this almost gave you like an excuse to go after it?
I definitely have an irrational belief that things are possible.
Great. Yeah.
And I noticed that now in my 30s, like looking around at even my family or other people. I think that comes from my dad, and I think it comes from the just the experience of watching impossible things happen in your life.
Yep.
Like I think, and most of the time they don't happen, but I think what's important, especially as a creative, is that you do carry that irrational belief that it's possible. So I, as a kid, just always carried this irrational belief that I could be in show business, whatever that meant, right? I just carried this irrational belief that I was like, and if you just never let that belief go, if you actually believe it, then you'll just, no matter what, find a way to it.
That's great.
Right? It might take, like Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad, like he didn't have his big break until his 40s.
Yeah.
But he just loved the thing and carried an irrational belief. So
you could just do.
You just do it. Because also I spent, if we talk about early days on YouTube, by no means did it work.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember there's this chart that you guys, I love it.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like think about like at the hospital, if somebody's dead or alive.
Yes.
It's just flatline. And your first like 5-6 years, just flatline.
Nobody watched.
And then all of a sudden there's a massive heartbeat, like it was like a heart attack almost.
Yeah. And that was our second YouTube channel. So it's not even that. Before that, there was even, there's many years where nobody watched our stuff. But, we often talk about the two rewards of creativity, of being a creative. The first reward is making the thing. So you have an idea and you bring it to life. That in and of itself is a reward.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're sitting here having this conversation. We both have to view that just having this conversation is a reward. It's a fun thing to do. We enjoy it.
Totally.
The second reward is the outcome of this creative thing that we're making.
Yeah, I love it.
Right? That is a separate reward. If this goes out and a lot of people watch it, a lot of people love it, that is the next reward.
Yeah.
If it creates financial opportunity, if it creates an outcome that we want, that's another reward. And you have to bifurcate those two things. If you don't love reward number one, then you shouldn't be a creative.
Yeah.
Because reward number two may never come.
Yeah.
And if it does come, it also might be fleeting.
Yeah.
There's this comedian that we just sat with, Josh Johnson, and he said, success as if you're successful as a creator, you're just visiting.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think that's a really important thing to.
It's really cool. It's kind of loving the process a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say is that growing up, my brother and I would make movies with this VHS camera we had. So it was one of those cameras, a Panasonic camera, where you load in the VHS tape into the camera.
I'm older than you. I remember.
You remember? Yeah. That's how you made. My parents made home videos.
Yeah,
of
of course.
That's where I learned how to make movies first. I would film. You'd stop. That's how you'd edit. You'd edit everything in the camera, and then you'd watch it back. But we would just make stuff and then load it into the VCR and watch it ourselves and be so excited.
Yeah.
One of the things I think we've potentially lost now today is practicing creativity in private.
What do you mean by that?
I think it's kind of a odd thing to do, to make something without the intent of sharing it.
Got it. Yeah, understood.
If I was to go make a video, spend 2 days making a video, and the only purpose was to make the video and to watch it back myself, people would be like, that guy's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Even though, to your point, growing up, it was like to capture a moment a lot of the times, to have like a relic of like a time with your family or something like that.
And I think practicing in private is so important.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because you need those reps and you need to develop that love for the craft before you get the judgment of others or the even feedback of others, without the fear of like reward two or like what the outcome is going to be of this creativity. It's just like, it's just fun to make stuff.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, like I did develop, and I still do have a deep love of reward number one.
Yeah.
Of just, I have an idea and now that idea exists.
Yeah. Putting something out there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So the content that you started with on YouTube, like you said, you've been on YouTube for 15 years.
Yeah.
It's not always been the kind of content that Colin and Samir is known for now.
No.
Like, what was that? Where did you start? And how did you kind of iterate your way into this like really successful media business you both have now?
I read 2 books by Seth Godin.
Okay. Yeah.
When I was on a flight to India with my dad. I brought these 2 books with me. I don't even remember how I found them. But one was called Unleashing the Idea Virus.
Okay.
And the core premise of that book is all about ideas that spread. And he said that things that are free spread and things that spread win. That was the core premise of that book. And that immediately, because going to film school, I was like, I need to get money to make a project, and then that has to sell to something like, and YouTube had unlocked this world where it's just like, no, you can just release free content to people.
Yeah.
So that was like a big unlock for me. And the second book was called Tribes. And it was about how human beings operate in tribes. And tribes need leaders and guidance. And the base premise of a tribe is like people like us.
Yeah.
And so my first YouTube channel was about lacrosse, because I grew up playing lacrosse.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a bizarre thing to do in LA. Not many people played lacrosse. Not many people understood it. But that created a very good opportunity for a very sticky tribe. Right? When you're a underserved, lesser understood group of people.
Those are the characteristics you think of like a tribe or a community or something like that. Yeah.
So, and I was really passionate about it. I grew up playing it. I loved all the people in it. I loved playing team sports, and also the storytelling framework of sports, which is just one winner, one loser.
Yeah.
It's like a very clean framework of storytelling.
Yeah.
So I decided was like, sports is a great canvas for storytelling. I love this sport. I know a lot of people in this sport, and I also am in the audience, which I think is really important.
You're part of the community.
Back to that Seth Godin book, Tribes, it was like, people like us do things like this. That was one of the lines. And I was like, okay, I think I understand that.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what people like me want.
Yeah.
So my concept with the first YouTube channel was, can I make a modern sports network? Can I do what, the surf channel or the golf channel or the tennis channel has done for those sports?
Yeah.
No one's going to say yes to me doing that on television, on like linear cable. That's going to be a ridiculous premise.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of magazines in our sport, but there wasn't much video. Yeah. So again, it's like, if I can edit, if I can film, maybe I can do this. So the first premise was a channel called Lacrosse Network.
Yeah.
And I started out by just filming games, high school games, doing highlights, and just seeing like being regular with content. My idea was make a video every single day.
That's amazing, because that's like part of for creators now, that's a big part of it. It's like, how do you constantly create content? But you're doing this in 2011.
Yeah. But what that meant was, a minute 30 highlight.
Yeah.
Right. Like we were creating a ton, and I was, I had a camera that I was really comfortable with and just editing, and it was me and a buddy, and we were just making stuff. And, pretty quickly, like a couple thousand people were watching.
Yeah.
And I was shocked.
Yeah.
When 300 people watched, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
300 people just watched something I made.
Yeah.
So within that first year, a couple things happened. One was, it really started to grow. 2 was I met Colin.
Awesome.
Because Colin was making a documentary series in Colorado about his college lacrosse team.
Okay.
But the way he was telling the story was, it was a story about a bunch of college kids. They just so happened to play lacrosse.
Got it.
And so he was really good at finding human stories within anything.
Yeah.
So I operated as like the network head and like licensed his show.
Yeah.
My brother was in law school at the time at UCLA. I went to an entertainment law class of his, talked to one of his professors, and the guy was like, it's all about rights. You need to license rights.
Yeah.
So then the next thing we did is license a bunch of live rights. And we became, within 2 years, the largest distributor of live sports on YouTube. And so we did high school games, college games, club games, eventually pro games, and built this channel that was a mix of everything you would want in sports: news, analysis, live games. But there was a really interesting thing that happened. Our most viewed video was a video that was shot with an iPhone of a pro player just like kind of goofing around and shooting.
Just like tricks around the net, everything.
There's like a minute long.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And that was a huge signal for us.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, the modern sports network is about access, relatability.
Yeah.
It's more like YouTube at that time, even in 2011, like back to Jenna Marbles. Like, why did that work so well?
Yeah.
She was talking into a MacBook. It was because there wasn't the distance that Hollywood brings, right?
It's direct access, is relatively candid. Like, I'm a big tennis fan. And so the US Open is going on right now.
Right.
And Coco Gauff is like this big tennis player. Yesterday, they're on TV on ESPN2 for 30 minutes.
Right.
They're essentially showing her just do serves. And that, to your point, it's kind of that analogous to what you guys did a long time ago. It's like focusing on some content area for your community that they would find super interesting and engaging.
My brother, who did not grow up playing lacrosse, watched a few of the videos and was like, why would anyone watch this?
Right.
And I was like, we're on to something.
Exactly.
Because if you don't understand it, that's actually good.
That's great.
That's
amazing.
Good.
Yeah, it's really
but
cool.
if 100,000 people, because that video got 100,000 views.
Yeah,
in 2011, that was like the whole world watched, right? We were
totally.
we were like, I think we just made the Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly. Like that was back to that concept of like people like us like things like this.
Right.
And that taught me a lot about, what it meant to be niche. But the thing about an iPhone video was also the line was blurred between the creator of the content and the consumer of the content. The consumer of the content could create the content, which I think makes it much more engaging.
Yeah.
Right? Like when the consumer of the content, that's why TikTok's so engaging. Yeah. It's like the line between me and you is not that far. And that's exciting.
Yeah,
that's almost like a video game. Yeah. So that's when Colin and I opened up a MacBook and started talking into it.
I was going to say, is that the first time you guys went on camera yourselves?
Yeah.
Got it.
Because then we were like, oh, the modern sports network does not look like ESPN. It's actually completely different.
Yeah.
It's like guys who are just excited about it, just like you. Yeah. Talking to you directly into our computer in a way that you could talk back to us. Yeah. And it's not us creating content for you, it's us creating content with you. Whatever, if you say something about the content, we implement that tomorrow. Yeah. You're like, again, it's like you're playing a video game as an audience member.
That's kind of amazing. Essentially, it's members of the community feeding back to the community and listening to the community for what they want to do next, right? Yes. It's like that instant product market fit or product market feedback on, hey, people love this. Like maybe we build more of this. Or is that how you guys thought about a lot of the content?
100%. We thought also for the first time ever in entertainment, you could have an MVP of content.
Exactly. That's amazing.
You could never have that before. Right? There was too much investment. There was too much, but it was kind of like low stakes. Let's make something, and based on the feedback of the audience, we'll change it. Yeah. This was during an era where Kickstarter was really big.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember I had a friend who launched a bunch of products on Kickstarter. Yeah. And he would just mock up a prototype and then throw it on Kickstarter and check demand. And then from there, adjust the product or either kill the product or make the product.
Absolutely.
And I was like, that's the same thing we're doing with formats and shows. Yeah. I can launch a show, and if no one likes it, who cares?
Yeah,
just don't do it.
Yeah, totally.
And if people like it, build on it.
You actually get that product. I mean, you talk about this a lot, and I've stolen it from you guys around content market fit.
Yes.
Like we talk that to our customers a lot about that in a different version of it, which is if you're a coach or you're an expert in some area, like put it out there, tell people what you're going to build. And if you get people give your email address, their name, their phone number, go invest that time. But if you don't, it gives you an opportunity to be like, okay, maybe I don't do this. I pivot to something else.
I think the challenge is as time goes on, how do you live in a world where the stakes are actually that low constantly? Because the stakes naturally increase. You start building a business. There's more perception about your brand. Yeah. Like I have sensitivity now around trying something that doesn't work. Right. And that's a bummer.
Is that because you're not afraid of failure, but you don't want it to fail because you built something that's
I think we've seen the consequence of it too, where like, we will try something, it won't work well, and we might be in the middle of an advertising discussion and this is a real thing that gets pulled because of the low performance of an idea.
Interesting.
And so I think what's challenging is like creativity does really well with constraints and with pressure.
Yeah.
But there is like this bell curve that once you cross it, creativity starts to die.
Yeah.
We see that with media companies.
Yeah.
We've seen it forever. Like BuzzFeed, and Jonah Peretti is like, I think who's the founder of BuzzFeed, one of the greatest content minds of our generation, made incredible content. Revenue pressure comes and BuzzFeed is gone.
Yeah.
Right. Vice. Yeah. It's like there is this.
It's an innovator's dilemma.
Yes.
Right. It's like once what got you there may not get you further.
Yeah.
But the problem is you have to like really be willing to almost like burn the ship down to reinvent yourself. That I think causes a lot of like that disruption that gives other entrepreneurs the opportunity to kind of do something different as well.
Yeah.
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 And so you guys are a lacrosse channel, and then how did it transition into what you do now?
So that was 2011. We built the network up until 2014.
Okay.
And in 2014, the company was acquired. And that was a huge win.
Who acquired it?
It's a group called Whistle Sports.
Okay.
They were backed by like Jeffrey Katzenberg and a bunch of people. The concept was, can we make the kid-friendly sports network?
Yeah.
But what that meant, it was going to live across a bunch of different verticals on YouTube.
Yeah.
Lacrosse, fastest growing sport in America at the time. And they also understood that we had a good network with a very affluent fan base.
Yep.
And we were ripe for great advertising, which we got to do. But we also had a DNA that could be applied across other sports.
Yeah.
So, I mean, being 23 and going through an acquisition was like a very illuminating experience. It's hard.
Good lessons early on.
Yeah, it was hard. But as a creative or entrepreneur, like you're just looking for little bits of validation to keep you going because it's so hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that was a major moment of validation.
Yeah.
That was because for those 3 years that we're building this, like a lot of nights I went to bed being like, this isn't it, right?
Yeah.
Like this can't be it. Like this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. You know, because to make money in that time on YouTube was not common unless you were making extremely viral content.
Yep.
We were making extremely niche content.
Yeah.
Convincing advertisers to spend with us was really hard. So we just did we operated almost as like a production company on the side. We did whatever people want us to build websites. We'd build websites.
Yeah.
There was at one point, Colin had a friend who needed stickers designed, and he was like, "Do you guys do like sticker design?" We were like, "Of course we do."
Yeah. And then you guys figured out how to do stickers.
And then we made stickers and found a vendor to make stickers and shipped them stickers. And like, we did anything to make $800.
Yeah.
You know? And so that moment of validation of like getting the company acquired and like having an injection of capital. And then also it was an acqui-hire.
Yeah.
So we went to go work at the company. Getting to go work full time at a company with like real salaries and just work on YouTube channels, that was unbelievable.
That's extraordinary.
That felt to me like getting my MBA.
That's great.
So, yeah.
And so one of the questions we always had is like, when did you take your concept of just uploading videos to turning it into a business? It sounds like you guys kind of had that idea from the jump to some degree.
Yes.
So after that acquisition, when transitioning to kind of what you guys are doing now, what lessons did you learn from that first time that you made sure to apply like day zero on this next part of the journey?
Early days when we were making YouTube videos and trying to sell them, I didn't know how to sell videos or how to sell creativity. And I think what we learned through this process of going through this acquisition and being a part of a company that had a sales team and was good at selling was packaging ideas, right? Like I had this visual in my head of, if I have an idea, it really in my head might feel clear.
Yeah.
But to someone else, I would always imagine that I was like handing them a handful of sand.
Yeah.
And it would just go through their hand.
Yeah.
And so the visual I had in my head is like, I got to take this sand and put it in a box for you that looks really nice and hand you the box and be like, you can buy this box.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. The root of it was like, I started recognizing I would go meet with Nike and Under Armour and like, I would try and explain these creative concepts. I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I just have to make it really easy to buy.
Yeah.
And so I think that during that era, what Colin and I learned the most was how to sell creative ideas.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, it's just in the air.
Yeah.
So it's not like I grew up in the clothing business. My dad would be like, here's this dress. do you want to buy 10,000 of these?
Yeah.
Right. And like, he would always ask me, when you're in a sales meeting, what are you selling?
Yeah.
So we got very good at like deck design and also recognizing, how does the ad industry work?
Yeah.
What are they valuing?
Yeah.
And pretty quickly what we recognized is the value is access to the audience. And you have to like communicate. My content is a bridge for you to reach your desired audience.
Right.
Now I have to simply explain to you what this bridge is and why you want to cross it.
Yeah.
So building decks was a big part of that, and recognizing like the true monetization model of we helped Dude Perfect a lot during this time. They were a signature client of Whistle. And it was like, okay, Ruffles wants to work with Dude Perfect. How do we do this?
Yeah.
And we would help build the package.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, these are the products of media.
Yeah.
Right. It's a 60-second integration into the video.
Yeah.
It's name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand what the products of media were until that time.
Yeah. I always talk to people, it's like sales, the way you sell stuff, the way you talk about things actually helps it resonate with the audience in whatever way, shape, or form. Meaning, if you're talking to an audience that talks in a certain language, if you can adopt that language and use it while you're selling to them, it'll help them understand that a lot better. Do you find that to be the case? And in different audiences, you got to talk about what you do in different ways?
So I think it's all storytelling structure.
Yeah,
and at the core of storytelling is problems and solutions.
Yeah.
Every good story is a series, an introduction of a series of problems and a introduction of the solutions to those problems at different times in the story.
Yeah.
So there's like an overarching problem to a story typically. And then inside of that, there's problem, solution, problem, solution.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what, you have to deeply understand on the other side of who you're talking to, what is their problem?
Yeah.
There's a lot of times they don't believe they have a problem, or they don't know they have a problem.
Yeah.
So actually your first step is to introduce the problem to them.
They don't even recognize it.
They don't even recognize it.
Yeah.
So you have to storytell to introduce the problem and then offer the solution. So when you're working in the world of media, again, the base problem you have to understand is that if you're the buyer, you don't understand, or you are not reaching your audience in a authentic way, or in a way that is making them consider your brand. So, okay, you're having a problem of communication. Yeah. Okay, so let me offer you a solution to that. But I might have to introduce your problem to you and then offer my solution, which is, well, I make this show, which those people watch. Yeah. And if we integrate you in this way, they will understand it.
Yeah, and these are the results of that.
And these are the results.
You should be excited by that.
Yeah. And I think that's actually really hard for the modern creator to understand.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many ways where that whole thing I just said doesn't need to exist.
It's like a lot of education a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when you think about the journey, like talk to us about Colin and Samir now and what you guys have been doing before that, because as a consumer of it, I find the content to be super insightful, very educational, and very like, these are how different businesses or different creators are kind of going about this, like creator economy or different parts of the sector. Like, talk to us about that and what you guys are trying to accomplish with that.
Sure. So on the next go around of our YouTube journey, you know, when we left Lacrosse Network and left the world of sports, I think there was a clear decision. It was like, either we're going to go all in on being sports media guys. Yeah. There was a very clear path.
Yeah, that's a fork in the road
to go like, we are the modern sports media guys. But we didn't want to be that.
Why?
Largely because we were young,
okay,
you know, and just like, I don't know, we were 23 when we sold the company. And I was like, wait, this is like, I set out to be in my head, it was like, I played music growing up. I was like, I'm either going to be a rock star, an actor. I'm going to be, you know, again, put me in the movie. So don't put me in the boardroom, put me in the movie.
Totally.
So Colin and I remember this. We went to lunch one day and we were like talking about this and talking about a bunch of ideas we had. At the time, YouTube was changing. People were really solving how to tell stories. Like Casey Neistat was daily vlogging at this time. It was a moment where like there's a lot of excitement in the individual, not the media company, the individual.
It's almost like the time of the fragmentation of traditional media,
Big time.
Right? So Twitter, YouTube, whatever it was at the time, like less concentration at CBS, NBC, ABC, and more like this proliferation.
And the individual had a lot of power to tell stories. So we were like, we should do that.
Yeah.
And I remember we were just sitting there being like, all right, let's leave and let's start a channel called Colin and Samir.
Yeah, awesome.
That was the only plan.
Genius.
Only plan.
Yeah.
And when we left, like the assumption at our company was that we had raised money to start an agency, that we were like everyone was like, so what are you doing? Tell me about it. And we're like, wait, we're starting a channel called Colin and Samir. That's it.
Yeah.
And we left and we started the channel and we started making these videos and nobody wanted to watch them. We just made like our first
Yeah,
video.
what were they?
The first video was about Fairfax Avenue in Los Angeles and how it went from this kind of diaspora of Jewish culture to a streetwear mecca.
Oh, sweet.
Unbelievably esoteric and niche.
Super interesting. Yeah,
but
if you're into it.
I was into it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Colin and I had the idea. And again, it's like reward number one is bring it to life. The challenge is you put it out publicly and reward number two slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
Like that didn't, didn't happen.
Didn't work.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So over time, I think, Colin and I will say this, we're particularly bad at learning from our success.
Okay. That's cool.
And particularly good at learning from our failure.
So when you say, explain that a little bit. That's super fascinating. Yeah.
Like we were successful because in Lacrosse Network, because we defined a hyper-specific audience and we understood their needs.
Yep.
When we started Colin and Samir, what I don't think I realized was all I wanted was creative fulfillment. So the audience was just me and Colin.
Yeah.
That was going to be the audience.
Interesting.
Because we had no other consideration.
Yeah. So it's part one of that two-part scenario that you talked about before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So learning from our success would be, before we start this channel,
of course, yeah.
Let's hyper define who we're making videos for.
Right.
Let's also understand if they're underserved, do they need videos? What type of videos do they need? What's, all the above.
We call it, like in our world, it's ICP or ideal customer profile.
Of course.
Like you define your ICP and then you build for that ICP.
Again, if the business is selling access to your audience, then the most important thing to understand as a creator is who is this audience?
100%.
So long story short, that's where the 5 years comes of, we didn't learn that for a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because the lacrosse part of that is almost like, to your point, you didn't learn from your success.
Exactly. Yeah. We didn't actually study what was working for us.
That's what 23-year-olds do.
Yeah. But we also just were angsty artists and wanted to make esoteric content.
Yeah, great.
I think we just put too much revenue pressure on it.
Yeah.
Like we went all in.
Yeah.
We were like, this is how we're going to get paid. And, runway runs out pretty quickly. And then we're back to being a production company.
Yeah.
Doing gigs here and there for other people. But when it really worked was coming back to those core principles of that book again, Tribes. It's like, okay, if we're looking for people like us, who are people like us?
Yeah.
Young creatives who are trying to figure out how to make a career on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's who we were.
Yeah.
So we are the audience, but actually there's a lot more of us.
Yeah.
So how do we learn ourselves this process?
Yeah.
And luckily, because we had been in the YouTube world for a long time, we had, during that time to make money, gone behind the scenes with creators to produce for them.
Yeah.
That's how we made our money. That's how we met a lot of the YouTubers that we met.
And how are you making money at this point?
Just as like production services.
Just production services. Got it.
Just work for hire.
Yeah.
We'll come edit your video. We'll come shoot something.
And so this is 5 years of that like dead person on that. And then what caused that first time?
Yeah. So in 2018, we started a podcast to create a framework to learn from other creators. It's just audio, but it was like, we know all these creators. They would love to sit and talk about their stuff. And a lot of it was Colin and I creating moments of like therapy between us of just talking through what
you were experiencing.
We were experiencing how to do this. What ended up happening was in 2019, 2020, we started recognizing like, we're making, the audience is people like us. It's young creatives. Okay. The first question is, who are these people? Who watches?
Right.
The next question is, why do they watch?
Right.
So, okay, let's define that. What we want to do is we want to educate people on how to do this, but we'll educate them through our journey.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Now it's, who are these people? They're creators. Why do they watch? To learn. Got it.
And this is the first time you thought of yourselves as educators?
Yeah.
Is that, so this is like 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
Amazing.
And then we started making videos on YouTube that were more like video essay explainers about other creator strategy.
Yeah.
Largely, again, self-serving in that we got to learn and analyze how other creators were building businesses.
Yeah.
And I think our unique skill set is articulation of that, storytelling and articulation of that. And we were having a lot of fun doing that, but then those videos started to hit.
Yeah.
This video has 1 million views. Wow, that's crazy. That's a good feeling. Then, you know, at the end of 2019 and early 2020, we get a Twitter DM from Mr. Beast, who at the time was, you know, a very prominent creator, but around like 9-10 million subscribers. And the DM was just like, hey guys, I love your videos.
Just that's it. This is Jimmy.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, that's awesome. And he was like, what's your number? I gave him my number, and then he called me immediately. And he was like, let's talk about YouTube.
Yeah.
He's like, you seem to be really into this too.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm into it too. Then we started talking to him. And then we found out that got a DM from Marquez Brownlee.
Yeah.
And he was like, I listened to the show. And we're like, what?
So your audience is like not just people starting, but people who are just interested in the space, even scaled creators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also back to same philosophy of lacrosse. This was an underserved group of people.
Yeah.
We felt it was underserved because no one was talking about these people. So once we started talking about the people that we were inspired by, they were excited.
Yeah.
Right. When COVID hit and we couldn't really be out and about filming stuff, we were like, oh, let's take that podcast we've been doing and just film it.
Yeah.
What if we did that?
Very cool.
And then pretty quickly, because these were our friends, our second episode was Marquez Brownlee. You know, I think our 5th episode was Mr. Beast. And then that was off to the races.
That's been amazing to watch. I watched the one that you guys, Mark Zuckerberg. Like all these they're very, again, educational. And I love that concept you guys of like how you approach them. When you think about your business over time, it's evolved as well, right? Like how you guys build revenue, how you guys build content, what do you give out for free? What do you put behind some kind of paid mechanism? Talk to us about like that journey and like decision parts of a lot of your audience is used to like getting all your content essentially for free, fair, or they're trained that way.
Yeah, there's always a trade.
Yeah.
Right. There's always a trade. But our core product is trust.
Yeah.
Right. Like we know that internally our product is trust.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to the monetization of that trust, you have to be very
thoughtful. Yeah, absolutely.
Tim Ferriss gave us some amazing advice. He said, trust is gained in drops and lost in buckets.
100%.
And that has been a very good guiding light for us to recognize, you know, it gets very attractive as you grow. The only currency we can understand of validation as you grow older is money.
Yeah.
I think you could value other currencies, but truly like after grades, when you get out of school, the next thing is money.
Yeah.
Right. And so money becomes very attractive, but it is a trade on trust unless done very thoughtfully.
Absolutely.
In terms of how we think about our business, you know, again, core principles, things that are free spread, things that spread win. That's a core principle that I think everyone believes.
You're never going to stop that part of it.
You can never stop that part of it. So that's really important. The ad business, I think for most creators is like, that's how people make money.
Yeah.
Whether it's through AdSense, YouTube AdSense, you have to be a very particular type of creator to make good money on AdSense.
Yeah. And that particularly meaning scaled, right?
Scaled.
Yeah.
You have to
Like
be reaching
size.
millions and millions of people.
Correct.
And
which is like the vast majority of people are not lucky enough to be in that category.
no, or they don't even think like that.
Yeah.
Or they don't, like for me, I actually don't crave that.
Yeah.
I don't crave to make content that is reaches 10 million people.
Yeah.
I don't think that's not how my brain works. I like making content for a specific group of people that really like it. You know what I mean?
Tribe.
Like, I like that. I think that is a very fun experience. Again, like like a tribe that I understand. So there's AdSense, like platform payments.
Yep.
Brand deals, which is going to be the vast majority.
Yep.
And then there's the digital products, right? So for us, that's our creator startup brand on Kajabi. And I think one thing that we think about a lot is, as a creator over time, who your boss is changes.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you are your boss.
Yeah.
Because you're making stuff you want to make.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah.
Then over time, an audience starts watching.
Yep.
And you become really considerate over what they want to watch. Because if you have a video that does 10,000 views and then a video that does 1,000 views, you're going to do the video that does 10,000 views
Content
again.
market fit. Yeah.
Because that's the one they want.
Yeah.
So they're your boss.
Yeah.
And then you start getting paid and brands start paying you and you start being really considerate to what they want because they're writing you a $50,000 check.
100% makes sense.
And you're like, okay, what you want is good because you pay me.
Yeah.
And I think the ideal situation as a creator is you level back out to the audience is my boss.
Yeah.
And I have to want to do the thing, but they are my boss, not revenue.
That's a good relationship.
And the cleanest version of that relationship is a membership or a digital product.
Beautiful.
Because if you think about people with like large membership businesses, that's an audience going, I want you to make this thing.
Yeah.
I pay you to make this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you go, great, I'll make that thing.
Yeah.
The other version is my audience wants this type of content. This advertiser wants to reach them, but they also want a particular type of messaging to reach them.
Yeah.
The way I reach them is through a platform that wants something else, or maybe something different that could be different next week that's not this week.
Yeah.
So to reach them, I have to make sure I am doing right by multiple stakeholders.
Right.
Although they are the ultimate stakeholder.
Yeah.
And so that is the game, and it's fun and it's great, and it has unlocked the world for everyone, and I will never stop doing it. But the cleanliness of the relationship, of the transaction of, hey, I like this thing that you make, so I'm gonna pay, and then you make me that thing, is so clean that I am jealous of a lot of people who have like big memberships and are able to just have the cleanliness of that. Yeah. Because that honors the audience is my boss.
Yeah. I mean, that direct relationship with the artist, right? You're not dependent on a brand who wants, like we see that a lot too. It's like, how do you control authenticity as you scale? And one of the ways to do that is to be like, hey, I have a direct relationship with my audience. I can interact with them via email. I can send them a text message. I can put them in a community. But at the end of the day, I'm building in service of what they want. And to your point, it's very clean. It's like, I built this, you liked it. There's some kind of value transacted.
Yes.
And both sides are excited about what's coming next, right?
Yeah.
That dynamic is.
I think about like the biggest subscription I pay for is coffee. Meaning like I go to the same coffee shop every day. I pay them in LA, $7, $8 a day.
Yeah.
Without fail.
Hefty coffee. Yeah.
But it is a very clean transaction.
Yeah, great.
I happily pay them. And they give me something that I love. And that is it. It's a clean transaction. And so I think about that a lot when it comes to like, sometimes the business of media can get pretty complicated of like, if I'm the barista and the audience is looking for the coffee, it's actually like, cool, I'm going to give you the coffee, but this person's going to pay me to make that coffee, but I got to go and do a couple other things before I bring you it.
No, I totally get it.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's going to come to you in a way that's going to have maybe like, you didn't ask for vanilla in it.
Sugar you didn't want.
But there's vanilla inside of it. So,
and
I just had to do it.
Yeah,
So,
here you go. What is trepidation, like a little trepidation between, hey, we've never done digital products before. We've never thought about this avenue. What were some hesitations you may have had at the time?
I think specifically, so I think membership has a good brand.
Right.
Membership has a great brand on the internet.
Yeah.
Courses have not a good brand.
Yeah.
They're the brand perception of courses, I think, is a direct threat to the premise of trust.
Interesting.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. As an educator, that's
happened.
an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's happened.
Yeah.
Now, courses for me are something I've always loved because I was not great in school, but I became great when I got to select my professors in college. So I understood that premise of
of course,
oh, I actually think education is really great when you like the professor and when you can select the professor.
Yeah.
And the second thing about courses as a creator that I've always loved and I deeply love right now is I treat building courses like writing a book or making a movie.
Right.
It's timeless work.
Yeah.
Versus as a creator, I am thinking week to week.
Yeah.
Right. What's the next video? What's the next video? What's the next video? What's the next video? Like you just brought up our interview with Zuckerberg. To me, that feels like it was years ago.
Right.
And it doesn't even exist in my mind.
Yeah.
And that was a few months ago.
Totally.
And it was a major milestone for our channel, but it's like, I got to go forward.
Yeah.
Because we have episodes to make. Right. And, but when I think about what we've done with the YouTube growth playbook or our brainstorming sprint 50 and 5, like, that's my timeless work.
Yeah.
You can take that in 2 years and I'll stand by it.
Yeah.
And that to me is really cool and really fun. Cool. As an educator, that's like, I get to spend a lot of time on this, and it's that cleanliness of transaction of you want it. You have a problem that I have a solution to, and you want this, and you pay for it, you get the thing. And there's no like public metric of social proof or social validation of, you know, like if I made an educational video and 100 people watch it on YouTube, other people who come across it are unlikely to click on it because 100 people watched it.
Right. A market indicator that it's not great content
Exactly.
or something. Yeah.
And the excitement when the first 100 people took our course is like, it's like being, you know, standing in a classroom with 100 people and teaching them something. That's super cool.
That's very cool.
Now, the challenge is like the base premise, the understanding from an audience is that online video is free and ad supported.
Right.
Unless it's Netflix.
Right. Or like, Paramount or exactly.
Unless it's a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Online video is free.
Yeah.
And online education is free.
Yeah.
So I think the assumption, if I am charging you for something, is that it is me being opportunistic, right? As a creator is the base assumption. And we learned that pretty quickly. We knew it. Our collective friend, Ali Abdal, told me that was going to happen. But when we announced that we were making a course on our YouTube channel, we were met with a lot of pushback, a lot of anger, a lot of pushback. I looked at it and I was like, okay, I understand. I can understand and empathize with this. And that taught me a lot about how to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? If you have an audience of, you know, on our channel, a couple million people watch a month, right? So what we are making is not relevant to that many people.
Right.
It's relevant to a small subset.
Yeah.
If we go with this premise of like everyone expects free, and that is a fair assumption, that's also my assumption of online video, then the only way for me to actually communicate is to go, hey, if you are interested, here is another free thing. Right. And so what we started doing to communicate digital products was you watch our video, it has a specific set of value. Then we will suggest to you something else that has similar value, but is in another place.
Right.
So we'll take you from YouTube. We'll do like a live session where we're going to teach.
Yep.
Or we'll do, we have a newsletter where we teach. So come over here. And then once you're over here, we will introduce you to the premise of, do you want to pay for this thing?
The digital product.
Yeah. And my belief in terms of paying for something is like, I have paid for education.
Yeah.
When I pay for education, I feel accountable to do it.
That's right.
And to do the thing.
Yep.
So that's like, I believe that premise of digital product is a really good premise for the people who want it.
Yeah.
It's just solving how to segment and understand who are the people who want this and who are the people who will never want it, who are not the buyer for it.
It's your funnel, right? Fundamentally, it's like, hey, I have a great audience who loves the content I'm putting out there. Some percentage of this audience wants to go deeper or learn in a different environment or do something different. And giving them that opportunity to do that and bringing them down your funnel doesn't mean it's for everybody, but there's a segment of your, a segment of your audience who will go on that journey with you. And hopefully at the end of that, they feel like they've gotten a disproportionate amount of value from you, partly because there's been value exchange, but also that content served a need that they were excited about, that they're willing to pay for.
And I think, I mean, that like one of my favorite things to do is read the testimonials. I actually have no idea how to distribute them.
Oh, we should talk about that.
I know we should talk about it because I don't know how to distribute them without, I have no idea how to distribute them, but I love reading the testimonials because, you know, there's like something in business people talk about of like, you should always be like mentoring someone. Yeah. So it teaches you a lot. I feel that's what I feel with our course business.
That's very cool.
And when I read the testimonials, I'm like, sometimes it validates me of like, oh, I guess I do know what I'm talking about. Like that works. You know, it's like so exciting.
I think that's right. And also our creators, you can see, obviously they're business people, right? So people on the platform make billions of dollars a year as an aggregate. But what they're most excited about is the change they've affected in their audience's lives. Like that. So a testimonial is like, I didn't even think this person was going to come to this conclusion because of content that they just put out there. Yeah. That is very
powerful. Have this outcome. Like we had a creator who went from, you know, we have one course that's very much about everything we learned about how to sell creativity, right? How do you sell an idea? And he went from averaging $3,500 on a brand deal to immediately after taking the course, selling a $60,000 brand deal.
Awesome.
To me, I'm like, that's like That's a really big change.
And that is good ROI for that person.
Yeah, it's incredible ROI. But yeah, that's like really exciting for me. And I think that has been a really fun process. And you know, like, look, this is not like work that we do without business consideration. The business consideration for us is that truly, for the first time ever in 15 years of business, it's passive revenue.
Yeah.
And that's
it's another way to say that it's scalable. Like you're making money while you're doing other things.
Yeah. And I've never understood scale as a creator.
Yeah.
Truly. I don't understand it because you know, typically how our business works is someone pays us to do a thing.
Right.
We haven't yet done that thing.
Yeah.
So now we need to go do that thing.
Yeah.
But in this, what happens is someone pays us and we've already done the thing.
Right.
That's a really exciting thing as a creator.
It's fantastic. It kind of switches from a services model to like an enterprise value generating model, right? Which it's great for you because it gives you more opportunity to kind of do other things while also servicing your audience in a way that they want because they're willing to pay for it. So one of the things we see a lot, or we talk to creators a lot about, is Kajabi's not an or, it's an and, particularly with YouTube creators. And we say this because a lot of the data we have is that when creators are just on YouTube, particularly ones who aren't able to break out and scale, what ends up happening is there's a lot of churn. Like I put content out there, the content doesn't hit, they get discouraged, they're not making any money because they don't have like the volume of followers where AdSense actually pays the bills, and they end up churning out. And we've talked to YouTube about this dynamic quite a bit, like creator churn. What we've seen is that when creators put YouTube and Kajabi together, it creates this actually really powerful dynamic where even if you have a modest follower count, you're able to monetize that follower count on Kajabi because of digital products, right? So you can have a membership, a community, a newsletter, a coaching product, whatever it is, but you need a couple hundred customers paying you a couple $100 a month. And all of a sudden you have like thousands of dollars coming in as a business. I know you guys talk to a lot of the bigger creators out there. When you think about people who are just getting started or people who are in the middle of that like YouTube journey of scaling, what advice or what insights would you give from your journey around that thinking, like, or that balance between the two? Because you said before, there's always this kind of tension of when do you charge, how do you charge, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think number one is like the most important thing that you can do if you're trying to be a creator is deeply define who you are speaking to. Like, who is this audience?
Yeah.
And deeply understand them. Yeah. Because if you're talking about building a digital product or you're talking about advertising, whatever you're talking about, no matter what, you have to understand the people you're making for. And that actually is important. Like it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're coming up with an idea for a video, if I'm trying to attract a specific group of people, like whatever the title is for this thing that we're making is going to signal to a group of people if they want to watch it or not.
Right.
Right. It's like none of this exists in a vacuum. It exists in this like big recommendations algorithm that is YouTube.
Yeah.
I am watching a video and then on the right side of the page, there's a bunch of other videos. Why would I click on that video? It's because I am this type of person who is trying to get this type of value.
Yeah.
And so that premise should be the whole thing at your company.
Yeah.
Even if you're reaching 100 or let's say you're reaching 1,000 people, if they're a general audience, you're not even gonna get to the point where they're going to want to come buy something because they don't know what they're getting from you. Right. And I would say if you're also moving in the direction of like wanting to have that direct fan relationship, where there's like dollars in exchange for content, it's either transformative content that's educational.
Yeah.
Or it is like community-based content, right? So meaning like it's transformational, that it is, I come to you, you teach me a thing. Before I watched, I was this person. After I watch, I am now this person. So transformation is your product over there. Or it's community where it's like a podcast and you want to keep watching because we do funny bits and we respond to you and it's interactive. We do Q&A, then it's community-based. It's like connecting with other people. And so that value of why they would charge, it all comes back to who are these people? You can have an amazing business if you like teach personal finance, or like Miss Excel is a great example.
Absolutely.
Like nobody could have pitched me Miss Excel 15 years ago and been like, that's a good idea, but it's a great idea. Miss Excel teaches you how to use spreadsheets in Excel. Yeah. So that makes sense. If I am watching her videos that are free to learn, I will likely go watch and pay to learn because it's a transformation I understand that I'm willing to pay for. So I think you have to understand those two questions. Who are these people? Why would they watch? And that will inform you what you can do over here on the pay-gated content because it follows the same rules. You probably have to add one more layer of like, why would they take out their credit card? Am I suggesting transformation beyond what they can get on YouTube? That's a really important piece of the puzzle.
I think that's right. Like, it's so interesting when you, like, being a creator or being an internet entrepreneur or online entrepreneur is so fascinating because each niche has its own dynamics. Like we have a creator on our platform. She teaches like real estate investing. Her social presence is like hundreds of people.
Sure.
It's a 7-figure business, right?
Right.
It's because it's a high ticket item selling to a very specific audience. So to your point, it's like she can charge tens of thousands of dollars for her membership, for her course, for her coaching, all bundled. But her audience is like super small, but their like willingness to pay is really high.
So that's also really important, is that if you are a great educator or you have like great expertise in some area, I think there's a misguided assumption that you have to be great at social.
Totally agree, and interesting.
I think that is a misguided assumption. Not everyone is. Like, it's entirely possible that if you're teaching sales, like you probably don't need a YouTube channel if you're not into making YouTube videos. You might just need a great LinkedIn presence. You might just need a great email. I think again, back to who are these people? Why do they watch? One of the first things we do in the YouTube growth playbook is we just do a analysis of your niche. So meaning, what else is out there in the thing that you do? And you write down like the piece of content, the title of the content, the amount of viewership, and then like what type of engagement it has across YouTube. So you go like we do this as an example for gardening. It's a great creator named Epic Gardening. He makes, very specific gardening content. Like one of the titles of his videos is 11 crops to grow in September.
It's amazing.
If you are not growing crops, you are not clicking on that video. It's an amazing filter for a specific audience. But we looked at the entire gardening niche and was like, you have to understand like, what is already there? Because I need to speak the language of these people. And then the second thing is what is missing. So oftentimes in whatever the thing you're an expert in, there might not even be an audience on YouTube for it, because people like that don't hang out on YouTube. They don't. They hang out somewhere else. So go find where they hang out and then fit into that world so that you're not just on an island over here being like, only 100 people watch my YouTube videos. So it's like, well, are those people even spending their time on YouTube? Probably not. So you're trying to pull them into a whole new environment. Doesn't make sense. So I think that's why it's a misguided assumption that if I'm great at teaching real estate investing, like maybe, I would say there's probably real estate people on YouTube. But what are they watching? They're probably watching like house tours or Ryan Serhant or like a bunch of other stuff. And like, okay, I need to fit into that category and I got to be really into it. You can't, the couple things I've learned, I think maybe this is obvious, but you just really can't half-ass any of these things. You cannot half-ass being a YouTuber at all. Like that is a full-time thing that you have to obsess over. And if it's pain to obsess over it, you shouldn't do it. And then I've learned this in digital products too. If you're not into it, if you're not into teaching is one thing, but also deeply down to get into what a funnel means. It's not, you probably just don't have it.
It's the entrepreneur, it's like the business owner part of it. The like, how am I building enterprise value part of it that I think creates a little bit of a separation. Because you have to care about those funnels and those conversion metrics. And again, the ROI of your time a little bit. It's like a different approach to being a creator.
I just meet a lot of people who like grit their teeth to make social content. And I'm like, you don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that because it's not going to be good.
It's fascinating. Like, it also depends on where your like audience sits, right? Or what you're comfortable with. So a lot of people on YouTube, obviously, the visual element is a big deal, the audio-visual combination. We have a lot of creators on Kajabi who are written content first. So think about Twitter or LinkedIn or these places. So it kind of goes to your point around, well, you got to find what you get energy out of. Like a lot of people get energy out of writing, right? If you get energy out of writing, find a social media platform that takes advantage of that energy and doesn't sap that energy if you're trying to do video content because you think that's the right way to do it.
Every young creator or creator who comes to us for advice on formats, because formats are very important, right? Like building within a format makes it so that you're not reinventing the wheel every time you turn on a camera or open up you need a framework to create within.
Yeah.
But we always say, could you do this for 52 weeks every week?
Right. Great question.
And if you can't, then you should reevaluate it, which is why some of the greatest creators are talking into their iPhone.
Yeah.
Because that is low lift. You can do it. You don't need anyone else. You could do it for 52 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're really into like setting up beautiful cameras and lights, and that's something you could do every week and you're into it, great. Awesome. But if you can't get on camera every week, if that's like, I just don't think it's my thing, but I'm really into writing. Okay, great. Go all in on the thing you can do for 52 weeks because the whole thing is going to be reps, consistency. It's going to compound over time.
Yeah.
It's not like short bursts of creativity, which is actually what Hollywood has been, right? Hey, 3 months, let's make this timeless asset.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're doing weekly, let's get better every week.
Yeah.
Let's think of this as like MVPs every time we put out a piece of content because we're going to iterate again next week.
Yeah. So it sounds like maybe when you think about like a mid-career creator, right? One of the mistakes you're talking about, you kind of just described is like you're building content for a platform that doesn't energize you.
Yeah.
What other things do you see that like mid-career creator, kind of the mistakes they make and how you've tried to rectify those things over time for when you're talking to them?
Yeah, I think increasing overhead too quickly is a huge
Fascinating.
huge trap for creators.
What do you mean by that?
So what I mean is, like for Colin and I'd say is a great example. We pretty quickly we're like, okay, things are working. We have brand deals, amazing. Let's get a studio. Let's hire some people.
Okay.
Let's buy some new cameras. Let's buy some new computers. Yeah. And all of a sudden now, the deal that was presented to you is not like, oh, we should evaluate if we should take this deal. It's no, I have to take this deal.
Yeah. You start making decisions that you didn't necessarily want to make.
Again, the audience is your boss.
Yeah.
The revenue can't be your boss, right? It just can't be. Because creativity is like, it has to be organic. It has to be in a relationship with your own energy and the audience's desires. And when you have no choice but to take the deal, you end up making stuff that maybe nobody wants. You didn't want to make it. The audience didn't want it. The advertiser's happy, but like, nobody wanted it. So you're losing trust. Yeah. So I think overhead is a huge thing to watch out for.
That's amazing.
Just because the business is growing does not mean you should take on a lot more expense and overhead. You should really explore yourself and go, again, if success as a creator is something that you're just visiting, like when this goes, am I nimble enough to pivot?
Yeah.
Am I nimble enough to take time to think?
Yeah.
I think we undervalue the creative process of just like thinking and writing and exploring because we overvalue doing, right? Just like do the thing. And so I think that's a huge trap.
We talk about like a lot, like there's revenue, which is like a great metric. Sometimes it could be a vanity metric if there's not profit behind it.
Of course.
Right. And so that's kind of what you're describing there a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah. I think a lot of it is money-based, because I would say exploring your own personal relationship to money is really important, because what you're describing with a creator who maybe, has 1,000 diehard fans, like I think something we've forgotten is that to make a living as a creative is really hard and is actually the goal to make a living. Yeah. Right. So like to make a killing is cool, but if you grew up as an artist or a creative, you're like, man, if someone would just pay me like a living wage to do this, that would be awesome. And I think we've moved very far past that of like, that's not enough. Yeah. What I want is like, Mr. Beast makes billions of dollars. I want that. I want I want $10 million. It's like, okay, that sure, but what are you trading against that? Because like,
and how are you getting there?
It's okay to go a little slower and go like, this is incredible. I am making stuff. I am bringing ideas to life, and I get paid to do that. I get paid a living wage to do that. That is incredibly hard to do. So, again, growing up in LA, being surrounded by a lot of like actor friends, like they would kill to make a living wage doing their craft. Yeah. So I think that's what's important is like, how do I understand what a living wage is for me? And am I going to understand when I get there that I have arrived somewhere, you know, like that I'm not. We talk about this concept of relative zero, which means like as a YouTube creator, I'll give you a tangible example. 2 weeks ago, 80,000 people watched one of our videos, and it was a huge disappointment in our office.
Yeah.
Right? It felt like a pit in my stomach, like it was over.
Yeah, something happened.
It was over.
Yeah.
And that's because that's a relative zero number for us. That means nobody watched.
Yeah.
And that is a huge trap to fall into.
Yeah.
I think that happens with both money and views as a YouTube creator.
Yeah, fascinating.
That number, whatever that number is where you think nobody watched.
Yeah.
For us, that was 80,000. I have friends where that number is 1 million.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I have friends where that number is 10 million.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah. This keeps going.
It's scary because 80,000 people showed up for us.
Yeah.
And we're disappointed.
Yeah.
And the thing that you have to do is go like, no, I'm all in for you 80,000 people.
Yeah.
I'm here for you guys. Like you're showing up for me, I'm going to show up for you. And if that goes down to 10,000, that's okay. I'm going to show up for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge trap for the mid-sized creator of like, I only get 10,000 views. Yeah. It's like, dude, 10,000 views, 10,000 people are showing up for you. Like,
don't be so dismissive.
Just give them a great experience.
Yeah.
You know, like, again, I love sitting down with stand-up comedians because I think that element of risk and honor of like you're on stage and 60 people showed up to the club, you got no choice but to give them a great show.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
You have to give them a great show.
Yeah.
So I think these numbers, like the whole thing is numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
Numbers on the screen go up for views, numbers on the screen go up, and your bank account, like none of it feels tangible, but to root yourself in that tangibility of like, these are people who are showing up for me to do my craft.
Yeah.
And this is this is an amazing thing. I have to remind myself of that all the time. I'm not speaking from some, platform of like, I'm telling you from experience that 2 weeks ago, I had this feeling that my whole career was over because only 80,000 people watched a video.
I get it.
Right.
It can be scary.
Like, and I think the relative zero trap is really important. It's just like, don't fall into, oh, it's only $50,000 for this brand deal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 80,000 people who watched this thing. It's just, it's going to oscillate. It's a practice. It's going to go on forever. And you have to develop a relationship with what those outcomes are.
It's kind of even managing your own psyche too, a little bit, right? Like making sure you don't get caught up in a hamster wheel and then go down a path that you don't want.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm kind of interested in from your side is like along this whole conversation, which has been fascinating, you've talked about different sides of your business. I think you mentioned published press. Obviously we talked about Colin and Samir. When you think about your business right now, and I think you alluded to this earlier, but talk to us about the different segments of the business, what each part kind of serves, like why maybe you started it, and holistically, if you're open to it, like the revenue pieces, like how does that fit into creating the whole pie of what Colin and Samir do from a revenue perspective?
Okay. So like Colin and Samir, media, which is the Colin and Samir show, and then everything we put out on social, that is the least scalable thing we do. It's it's going to be based, not only on our time and us sitting down in a chair and recording the Colin and Samir show or recording content. The reason it's the least scalable is because of our taste. Colin are crazy when it comes to taste. Okay. So like you wouldn't believe how many pieces of content we've created that have never gone out that people would watch and be like, why wouldn't you put that out? It just doesn't match our taste. So like that is an ad supported platform. Sponsorship and ads. So that is ads from YouTube and sponsorships. Now, because of the nature of our content, that creates a thought leadership brand. And thought leadership is monetized through speaking, so public speaking.
Yeah, we had you at Kajabi here live. That was great.
Which is super fun. That was great. We love it. I love public speaking. So public speaking and the other side of thought leadership is consulting. So, and that's really fun for us.
Yeah.
I love it. We consult a lot of brands on, the core premise is how to work with creators and how to operate like a creator. So a lot of brands come to us of going, we want to make content. I mean, look at you, you're a brand, you're making content.
Yeah.
How do we develop a format? What would work?
Yeah.
How does this actually reach people authentically? Like one of our core, my core thesis about how brands will show up and continue to show up in our world is there'll be a character in our universe. So meaning Kajabi, great example. You'll do stuff with us where you show up on our show, right? Meaning the Kajabi brand will show up on our show. You show up as a part of our narrative, and then we need to be able to show up in your world.
Yeah.
This is a great example of that. Or as brands start to run more native ads on YouTube, brands should have YouTubers in their ads.
Yeah.
We are the relevant celebrities of that ecosystem. So let us help you solve that problem.
And the main means of distribution. Like that's a huge part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really different. I mean, Apple's a great example. They just did an ad with Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal, amazing, super famous celebrity. At the same time, Ryan Trahan just did a 50-day series on YouTube, 50 Days in 50 Days. The whole thing is shot on iPhone.
Yeah.
So if you did Ryan Trahan in an Apple ad on YouTube,
right,
he comes with distribution.
Yeah.
And the entire YouTube community would be over the moon.
Yeah.
They would probably create content about it. And
Yeah.
you'd have more earned media around this campaign.
That's right.
Pedro Pascal, cool. But no one's filming the screen saying, holy shit, Pedro Pascal's on my screen.
Absolutely, right.
So I think there's a current opportunity to do that at scale that would so anyway, that's the consulting piece of the business. Also could end up being scalable, but not presently not that scalable.
Yeah.
This is everything I just said to you is like Colin and Samir time.
Yeah.
We started the Published Press,
which is your newsletter.
Which is our newsletter.
Yeah.
It's 3 times a week, top 3 stories that happen in the creator economy. I think we deeply believe we were inspired by Morning Brew.
Yeah, of course.
I loved the feel and the tone. And I was like, I'm actually enjoying this.
Yeah.
And getting news from this is cool. There was them and Future Party. Those were 2 newsletters that I would open. And I was like, this is cool. At the core of it, when it comes to a YouTube video, because we're ad supported, I can only sit down with specific creators. That's the honest truth, right?
Yeah.
If I need these videos and need an audience of 100, 200,000, 300,000 people, I can't sit with every creator.
Yeah. So there's a bar.
But that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I want to tell more stories.
Yeah.
That's where the concept for the newsletter came was
beautiful.
This space is big. I want to tell more stories about more creators on a more regular basis. We're good at video, but my taste level for video is too high.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make that much video.
Mm-hmm.
I will lose my mind if we make that much video. So let's make it into a newsletter.
You mean lose your mind because it's so laborious and you're just like so into making sure it's great?
No, because I'll lose it if there's like a piece of content that goes out that I didn't watch that has an edit that I didn't like.
Got it. Yeah. So a lot of the work behind it.
Yeah. Like if there's video being created and our hands aren't on it, that's not a fun experience for me. So I can't do that.
And it's inherently not scalable.
Right. So Published Press was like, what we did with that is we wrote it internally for 2 months to just see if we liked it. We brought in writers.
Cool.
They just wrote it with us editing it to us.
Yeah.
3 times a week for 2 months.
Yeah. Just to see how it felt.
Just to see if it was
cool.
any good.
Yeah, that's a great way to
Then
do
we
it.
added like 12 people to that list and then 200. And now that list is over 140,000.
Oh, amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We have a great team of writers.
Yeah.
We have a great team that's behind it. And like the way I think about that is it's another ad supported platform, but it also now is unlocking the door. Like we are throwing our first big event through that.
Yeah.
Totally sold out just through the newsletter.
That's great.
So, that has this opportunity for a lot of scale. We intentionally did not call that Colin and Samir. We called it the Published Press.
Great.
It has merch connected to it. That is a scalable media property that follows the same value proposition as us, reaches the similar audience, but can do it on a more frequent basis and without the craziness of me and Colin.
It's really cool. It's like a branch of your media business.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Great.
Yeah. It's a sub brand within the media business. And then there's Creator Startup, which is our course business. So we have 3 courses inside of it. One is called 15-5, which is a 5-day brainstorming sprint. Come up with 50 ideas in 5 days. Teaches you how to brainstorm. We're in the business of ideas. Nobody really thinks about how do you come up with ideas. That is what that is all about. Just teaching you to get into the practice of coming up with ideas. You want to turn one of those ideas into a YouTube channel. You want to take those ideas and go, well, could I grow a YouTube channel? Then we have the YouTube Growth Playbook. Which is, education on how to build a sustainable channel. And now, as we go up one notch, you want to make money from YouTube. We have Creator Startup Pro.
Great.
That's going to teach you how to get into the brand deal business. How do you build materials? The whole thing is rooted and centered around building a pitch deck that when a brand reaches out to you, you can send back to them so that you reduce the friction of the negotiation. A lot of creatives don't want to do that. So let's just make materials.
They're templates, essentially.
Templates that you can send. And let's help you solve your pricing. How do you price yourself?
Yeah, great.
Let's help you solve some of these problems that we had. Where it's like, here's the pitch. that's the amount of money. It's either a yes or a no, and I can move on to creating my content. So that's been super fulfilling. We're also going to do that as occasional cohorts because that's really fun.
Awesome.
Not very scalable for me and Colin, but really fun. So we'll do occasional cohorts there, but those are all self-paced now. And that is our first form ever of passive revenue. So all of that put together, like the core of the business is the center, the media piece. That is me and Colin, sponsorships, ads that oftentimes play into all of that, meaning consulting and speaking. Most of our deals are all three of those now.
Interesting.
So a lot of our deals go, you're buying ads on the show, you're a sponsor of the show. We're also consulting you on a project. And we'll also come speak at your thing.
Oh, very cool.
And so that has now become fewer partners. Like our ideal, and it's what we've done this year, is 4 partners that we just go, this is like our set of, we're all in with these partners.
Okay.
That is very fun for me now. And like, we're at that point in our career where we can choose. And so that's a great experience.
That's super cool. And as you think about like next year, the years after, right? Because this is a journey, and hopefully like a very successful journey for you both and your entire teams. How do you think about this evolving? Like, what areas do you think you're going to put more effort into? Because I mean, even digital products, that's a relatively new thing for you guys.
Yeah, it's new, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not, I think like the base assumption is that it's like they put out a course, they're just trying to make a bunch of money.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into it. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And also there's this initial moment where people are down to buy it, but then you got to do a lot of work after that, right? Then it's a constant exploration of finding the right audience. And so yeah, I think digital products is a big focus. We just brought on like someone who is essentially a head of funnel.
Oh, great.
Which is cool.
That's really cool.
And new and interesting. And actually has made us think through the whole thing of like, if we're attracting an audience member over here on Instagram, like how did they become a part of the Colin and Samir universe? What does that mean? Right? Because again, if like our audience and access to our audience and the definition of our audience is our core product, then we need to segment them and kind of deeply understand our audience. So that's been a really good lesson and understanding and investment that we're making into building funnel. But I hope that grows. Like my hope is that our digital products business becomes competitive with our sponsorships business.
Great.
That is my hope. Because I want to always be able to say no if I want to sponsorship business.
Yeah, awesome.
So that is my goal. And then with the scaled world of published press and the events, like some of the best things that have happened recently is we've hosted events through that brand that Colin and I don't go to.
Okay.
And it's a lot of work for us to kind of let go of the reins and be like, that can happen. Like events can happen in New York and Austin and San Francisco, and we don't have to be there. And the amazing thing is they're super well attended.
Great.
And it's back to that base premise of people like us. The most important thing is that this is a brand that brings together people like us, and people just want to get together. They want to hear stories about each other. And I'm very proud of our evolution in finally exploring something that scales, right? On both sides, digital products and through the published press brand.
That's great. It's finding and building your tribe.
Yeah.
So Samir, we have this section we call this or that. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I'm going to give you this or that and want to hear which way you would go on these
cardigan
questions.
Or t-shirt. Cardigan. I wish I wore the cardigan.
Yeah. Next time. Okay. We'll have you back. YouTube channel or email list?
YouTube channel.
Interesting. That hesitation is fascinating. We'll talk about that later. High production or lo-fi content?
Lo-fi.
Love it. 6 figures in brand deals or 6 figures in digital products?
Digital products.
Interesting. Pause there for a second. Why?
Based on what I said before, that when someone buys a digital product, I've already made the thing. And I'm already proud of the thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Creator or entrepreneur first?
Creator.
Short form for reach or long form for depth?
Long form.
Business books or YouTube videos?
Business books.
That's fascinating. Off brand. I love it. I kind of love it. In-person events or online community?
In-person events.
Sell your company one day or create a lifestyle business you can run on your own terms forever?
Sell a company, but keep the lifestyle business.
I love it. Both. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. So one thing we love to do here at Creator Commerce is an assignment. So the goal is for you to give the audience one assignment that they can do, kind of accomplish in 1 week, that comes from your area of expertise.
All right. My assignment is to brainstorm 5 ideas every single day. These can be content ideas that you can put out on social, or if you write a newsletter, 5 new subject line ideas. I think we really undervalue the practice of coming up with ideas. And most of these ideas by the end of the week are going to be bad ideas. That's okay. You have to get them out on paper to even know what your taste is. What's a good idea? What's a bad idea? Brainstorm 5 ideas a day, and hopefully that builds a habit that you just do that forever.
Awesome. This has been great. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll see you around. Thanks so much.
See ya.
Just wrapped an awesome conversation with Samir from Colin and Samir. Tons of takeaways from that. I had 2 main things that I took away from the conversation. The different bosses you have as a creator. There are brands who are your boss. There are platforms that are your boss. And it's the last piece, which is the audience that is your boss. Samir spent a lot of time talking about don't forget who your real boss is. And your real boss at the end of the day is your audience and the people you're serving. And actually thought digital products are one of the best ways to serve that audience because it's a real, honest, natural transaction. You provide a digital product, that person chooses to purchase that product and hopefully has a transformation as a result of it. So remembering who your boss is and focusing on the audience as your boss and your community as your boss. And the other one that I thought was super insightful was relative zero. A lot of creators, when they get started, they're super surprised that, oh, one person signed up for my email list or one person is viewing my YouTube channel. I think what he talked about is as they've scaled, they've had millions of people watch their content, take their courses. And he just had a launch a couple weeks ago where I think 80,000 people watched the video. And for them, that was relatively disappointing, just given how big they've become. And one of the things he thought about was that shouldn't be his mentality. That shouldn't be his approach. It's 80,000 people chose to spend time digesting content that they put out there. And there's something awesome in that. It doesn't mean that he's not ambitious. It doesn't mean that he doesn't want to continue to succeed. But don't forget this concept of relative zero, that if it's more than 0, but it's 80,000 or it's 1 million, people are still there interacting with your content and learning from you, and to take a lot of solace in that and to enjoy that process of being a creator and putting content out there. Huge thanks to Samir for joining us today. Thank you all for listening. It's time for us to go, and hopefully we see you next time here on Creator Commerce. Creator Commerce is produced by Ash Jones, Robin Hopkins, and Kate Anderson. Production support is by Kate Escarciga. Production design is by Charlene T. The show is edited by Meltem Sarıcicek. Original music and sound design is by Monogram Sound. This show was filmed and recorded by Tyler Henderson and Ash Jones and is a Winston Francois production for Kajabi.